Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. On today's tutorial, I will demonstrate how to sew a V-cut placket neckline design detail. Hi, my name is Ayo and welcome to 011 Clothings Tutorials. On this channel, I upload DIYs, pattern drafting and sewing tutorials. If you haven't subscribed yet, kindly do so. And do not forget to turn on the notification bell so that you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. So now, let's get right into the tutorial. Thank you! I'll be working with the following items: a pair of paper scissors, tape measure, marker pens, rulers and curves, front and back kimono blouse pattern pieces. I drafted this in a previous tutorial. So I have here the front and the back kimono blouse pattern pieces which I drafted in a previous tutorial. The link to the tutorial will be above and in the description box below. I will now go ahead and alter the front and the back neckline curves. This is the back pattern. I will increase the neck width and the neck depth by 1 inch. So I'll go ahead to measure and mark 1 inch like this. Using my French curve, I will now redraw the back neckline curve like this. I will now cut it out. This is the front pattern. I will increase the front neck width by 1 inch like this. I will also increase the front neck depth by 2 inches like this. Using my French curve, I will now redraw the front neckline curve like this. From the base of the new front neck depth, I will come down by 1.5 inches. I will now go ahead and curve this angle using my French curve like this. This is the waistline. The placket will end 3 inches above the waistline. So I will measure and mark 3 inches like this. So on the fabric, I will cut the center front open from the base of the neckline down to the 3-inch point above the waistline. I will now cut out the front neckline like this. So these are the front and the back kimono blouse patterns with the altered necklines. I will now go ahead and cut them out on my fabric. So now I have gone ahead to do the cutting. Both the front and the back were cut on fold. I used half an inch seam allowance all through the pattern pieces, except for the side seams and the hem where I used 1 inch seam allowance. This is the front piece. I will slash open the center front from the neck down to the 3-inch point above the waistline. This is where the placket will end. So I will transfer the 3-inch point to the fabric like this using a fabric marker. I will now slash it open like this up to the 3-inch point above the waistline. This is the back piece. I will now place the back piece on top of the front piece like this, right side to right side. I will take it to my sewing machine and I will stitch in place using half an inch sewing allowance. So now the stitching has been done, as you can see. I will now go ahead and measure all around the necklines of both the front and the back, starting from where the placket is meant to end at the center front, all around the front and the back neckline, down to the other side where the placket is also meant to end at the center front. And this gave me a value of 44 inches. I will add 2 additional inches to this value, making it a total of 46 inches. So this 46 inches will be the length of the placket that I will cut out on my fabric. The placket will be 2 inches wide on fold. So the actual width of the placket is 4 inches when it is opened up. Because the placket that I intend to cut is 2 inches wide, after sewing half an inch seam allowance, what I have left is 1.5 inches. I need to make provision at the center front to accommodate this 1.5 inches width. After sewing half an inch seam allowance on both sides of the center front, what I have as a width that will accommodate the placket is just 1 inch. Whereas when I sew the 2-inch wide placket using half an inch sewing allowance, what I have left is 1.5 inches. This is too wide to fit into the 1-inch space at the center front. So I have to trim off 1/4 of an inch at the center front of the front piece like this. By doing this, I have opened up the center front of the blouse by half an inch, thus taking care of the half an inch deficit that will likely occur if I go ahead to do the stitching like that without first cutting it out. So now I have gone ahead to cut out the placket. As you can see, I have fused interfacing to the wrong side of the placket. I cut the placket on bias. It can also be cut on the straight grain. I iron the placket wrong sides out. As you can see, the width of the placket is 2 inches. It is also 4 inches wide when it is opened. The placket is 46 inches long. So this is the blouse that I will be fixing the placket to. I will now go ahead and notch the center back on the back neckline curve like this. I will also notch the center of the placket piece like this. I will now align the center back on the back neckline with the center of the placket, and I will pin in place like this. Using a fabric marker, I will now transfer the 2 shoulder seam lines to the placket like this. I will now remove the blouse and focus on the placket. From the 2 shoulder points that I marked on the placket, I will measure and mark 3 inches like this, and I will square down a line vertically, and this is where the V cut on the placket will be made. I will also measure and mark the 3 inches on this other side as well. And I will square down the 3-inch point vertically like this using my ruler. This side is the open end of the placket and right sides are together. I will now go ahead to measure and mark half an inch away from the open ends of the placket on the 2 vertical lines. Like this, This is the same allowance that will be used to sew the placket to the neckline of the blouse. This side is the folded edge of the placket. And on the folded edge, I will measure and mark 1/4 of an inch on both sides of the vertical line like this. I will now connect the two 1/4 inch points to the 1/2 inch points like this using a ruler. This will give me a V shape. I will do the same thing on this other side as well. I will measure and mark 1/4 of an inch on both sides of the vertical line. I will now connect the two 1/4 of an inch points to the 1/2 inch points like this. This will also give me a V shape. Next, I will take the placket to my sewing machine and I will stitch all around the V shape, the two V shapes. So now the stitching has been done, as you can see. Using these small precision scissors, I will now cut out the two V shapes carefully like this. Make sure that you do not cut through the stitch lines. That is, you should leave behind some seam allowance, tiny seam allowance about 1/8 of an inch. After trimming, I will now turn the placket to the right side like this. If you have pockets at the end of the V cut, after turning it to the right side, that means you did not cut down well enough. So you have to turn it back to the wrong side and carefully cut out the excess. To do this, it is best you use a tiny precision scissors like this so that you do not cut through the stitches. Once I'm done, I will go ahead and give the placket a thorough press using my iron. This time around, the placket will be ironed with the right sides out. So now I have done the ironing, as you can see. This is the kimono blouse. I will now go ahead and pin the placket all around the neckline of the blouse like this, making sure that the middle points match up. That is the center back on the back neckline curve and the center of the placket aligned with each other. And of course, right sides must be together. Once I'm done pinning, I will take it to my sewing machine and I will stitch in place using 1/2 inch sewing allowance. I will stitch the placket 1/2 inch below the placket opening. So I will do the stitching 1/2 inch below the placket opening. So now the stitching has been done, as you can see. I stitched 1/2 inch below the placket opening. I will now turn it to the wrong side like this so that you can see it better. I will now go ahead and draw an upward facing V from the end of the placket opening down to the 1/2 inch that I stitched below the placket opening. So I will draw two horizontal lines like this. I will draw two diagonal lines like this. Also, using these tiny precision scissors, I will now cut the V shape like this. I will snip into the corners like this. I will now turn the blouse to the right side like this. Next, I will overlap the two ends of the placket and I will insert it into the wrong side of the blouse via the opening at the lower part of the placket. I will now flip it to the wrong side like this. Then I will stick the two placket pieces and the V shape cut out horizontally like this. I will stick the three pieces together horizontally. So now the stitching has been done, as you can see, and this is what it looks like on the wrong side. I will now go ahead and overlock the seam allowances all around the necklines of the blouse. But first, I will reduce the excess placket at this end to about half of its original size. After doing this, I will now go ahead and do the overlocking. So now I have overlocked the seam allowances all around the neckline of the blouse. And I've also joined the side seams together. I will now go ahead and fix the buttons and the buttonholes to the center front of the blouse on the placket. So now I have fixed the button and the buttonholes on the plackets of the blouse, and this is the final look of the V-cut placket on the kimono blouse. So that's it guys, we are done, and this is the final look of the placket. If you find this video helpful, do not forget to give it a thumbs up, drop a comment down below, share this video with your friends who are interested in sewing, and do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. See you in my next tutorial. Bye, and thank you so much for watching.